Hi there, for this video I'm going to show you how you can mine Safex Cash using your computer, whether it's with your processor, your CPU, or with a GPU, or even both. So I'm just going to go through a few prior assumptions before I go through this video. So assumption one is that you already have a Safex Cash wallet. Now there is a big difference between the Safe Exchange coin, which is the older Bitcoin based placeholder coin, which you could buy on TradeStation directly on the Safex website. Just keep in mind that this video was recorded on the 11th of September 2018. If you're watching this anytime after September, most likely you're going to be more involved on the Safex Cash side of things with the new blockchain. But there is a big community that still have the existing Safex wallet addresses. So you'll need a Safex Cash wallet address, and the Safex Cash wallets always start with the word Safex. So here's an example one which I've pulled out. They always start with the word Safex, and then it's a random string of letters and numbers. So that's assumption one, that you've got that. If you don't have one of those, I'll link two videos in the description which shows you how you can generate your own Safex Cash wallet address. Just bear in mind it does require a little bit of configuration to do. Well, at the point of recording this video, we are still very early in the blockchain. It's only been running for a week or so. If you're watching this any time after September, most likely that the up-to-date wallet has been released. So this is the graphical wallet which you download for Windows or Linux or Ubuntu or Mac OS, sorry, and you can generate a wallet address that way. If it still causes confusion, leave a description, leave a message in the discussion box, whatever it's called, and I will record another video just to help you on that. So the next assumption is that your computer is up to date with the latest drivers. Always recommended you keep it up to date just for security reasons and also for stability reasons. And that you're also running Windows 10. Now if you're running on Ubuntu, there is a video by Crypto Joey. He's actually done a dedicated video which shows you how you can mine Safex Cash with your CPU and or your GPU in Ubuntu, so I'll leave that link in the description as well. It's quite helpful if you want to participate in the mining but you don't have Windows 10 and you're on Ubuntu. So the optional statement here is that you actually have a GPU. You don't necessarily need a GPU to participate in the mining. GPUs are very good at mining, but it's not 100% necessary to get involved. Granted that GPUs perform a lot better than most CPUs. You can often get quite a lot of hash rate out of a GPU. It's simply the way that they're designed. They have thousands of simple cores, simple processors within them, which are very good at doing simple mathematics over and over again in parallel, so they can do thousands of calculations at the same time. Whereas with a processor, they're designed to be a lot more general purpose. So they're a jack of all trades but a master of none, as we say in England. So it's entirely up to you on which route you go down. If you're quite serious about mining Safex, then we will produce a few more videos in the future which show you how you can set up a proper mining rig, but that's not for this video. This is just for people who want to get into mining Safex Cash regardless of their hardware setup. Excuse me. So for this video we're going to highlight this piece of software. It's called XMR Stack. If you just go on Google and you type in XMR Stack, it's normally always the first result, and it's done by a GitHub account called Fierce UK. It's basically a Monero miner, or an all-in-one Monero miner, but it's actually designed more for crypto note-based coins, tokens, with Safex Cash being part of that crypto note algorithm. So this software will work for mining Safex. So you go onto the XMR Stack page and you click Releases here, and all I do you should just download the latest version. If for whatever reason the latest version isn't really working for you, fall back onto an older version until you find one that does work. Just bear in mind, AMD graphics cards and Nvidia graphics cards do work slightly differently, and although AMD graphics cards are slightly better at mining crypto note coins, they do require a little bit more configuration. So it's not there's no real one-stop shop kind of approach for this, but generally speaking, this software will work out of the box with little or no sort of heavy modification required. So download XMR Stack. I'm just going to download it. Now bear in mind that some virus protection softwares do have issue with XMR Stack. They bring up a false positive that they've got an issue with it. So if you're missing certain files from the once you've exported it and dezipped it, whatever it's called, extracted, sorry, you may be missing something like the executable file there. So if in doubt, make sure that the files within here are exempt from your virus scanner. It varies from virus to virus scanner, so I'm not going to go through that, but it shouldn't be too difficult to work that out. So to run this, simply extract it like I've just done here, and you right click onto it and then run as administrator. Just press yes. Now you'll be given a few options here. So do you want the HTTP interface? What this basically does is it allows you to monitor the performance of your miner from your phone. So it'll create a little web interface. So the IP address of your computer, you just type that in on your web browser on your phone along with the port which it suggests, and it should bring you up a little web interface so you can keep track of how fast your miners are working and how many results that they're submitted. For this I'm not going to go through that, so I'm just going to press 0. Now this part's quite important, so it's the configuration of the actual miner. So with us in particular, with Safex Cash, we are using the CryptoNight v7. So just type in CryptoNight_v7, enter. The pool address. Now you get the pool address by going to eu.pool.safexuse.net. I will show you a list of other pools as well, which I recommend you join. I'll go through how to pick the right pool at the end of this video. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to do this. Obviously, it's my pool, so the mining pool address that you want to put into here. So it's eu.pool.safexnews.net. Now, if this is the first time you're mining, I'm going to assume that you haven't got anything overly complex to use. So I'm assuming that you're using your CPU and you've got maybe a graphics card of some kind, either embedded in it if it's a laptop or as part of the computer itself. Because it's not a big high-end mining hardware, we're going to use port 3333, so it's 333 for the pool. So just grab this address, copy it. Now in these terminals, I've lost the screen. Don't do that. But effectively, if you just right click, it should paste it. Then you do a double, whatever one of those is. It's 3333. Press enter. Now it'll ask you for a username. The username is your Safex wallet address. Now remember, this is the address that starts with Safex. If you put any address that doesn't begin with this, i.e. the old Safex address, it will ban you from the server because you are submitting an invalid address. So it will ban you from the server, only temporarily, but keep it up long enough, it will cause upset. So again, you just right click if you've got it already on as a cut. Your password, you keep that. You can either set it as an X, or if you have multiple computers using the same wallet address, you can actually use this part to identify yourself on the pool. So I'm just going to put Richard. Rig identifier pool size statistics. Our particular pool doesn't use this, and I expect a lot of the crypto note-based pools don't use this either. Does your pool port support TLS/SSL? This particular port doesn't, but there is an SSL, a HTTPS port if required. So we just select no. Do you want to use NiceHash on this pool? So nope. Do you want to use multiple pools? Nope. And there we go. So it gives it a couple of seconds. It will detect your graphics card if you've got one. It'll detect your CPU if you've got one. Well, obviously you're going to have a CPU. And then it will start mining. It jumps straight in. It's now accepting results from my miner. So if you press H, it'll actually give you the performance that your CPU and your graphics card are doing. I've got a very basic Nvidia 750 Ti in this, so I wouldn't expect any more than 220 to 250 hashes per second on that. CPU is a little bit more high-end, but I think because I'm recording this video, it's not going to use it to its full. So yeah, my CPU is running at 52 hashes per second, so I've got a combined hash rate of 278 hashes per second. So other options that you can check on here, if you press C for connection, it'll tell you how long you've been connected for, your pool ping time. I believe it takes a little bit of time for it to work that out. And if you press R for results, it will show you the best results that you have submitted to the pool over time. So there we have it. So you've got 62 milliseconds ping. That's pretty low for a pool. This is a European pool. The server is based in Frankfurt in Germany. I'm based in the UK, so 62 millisecond ping isn't too bad. However, we do have miners all the way over in Australia and in America that are mining on this pool. The reason why I've called it an EU pool is because I will eventually be releasing multiple pools in different areas. As the mining demand increases, so will the demand for more localized mining pools. But generally speaking, it doesn't really matter geographically where you're mining, just as long as you're able to connect to it and actually submit results. So yeah, that's all you do here. So you leave that. You can either run it in the background if you want, or where is it? Or just leave your PC overnight to mine. So now we've got our miner talking to the pool, we're going to want to check on the status of our miner. So if you paste your Safex address in there, and you click look up, with this, remember how we put my name as the password, so that will allow you to work out which one's which when if you have multiple miners running at the same time. Now just a little bit of a run through how this particular pool works. So you've got your current payout estimate. So this is based on your current hash rate. Bear in mind that the hash rate does take a little bit longer to catch up with. If you see, I've got 280 there, whereas on here it's showing 500 right now. It bases it off an average. So it'll be whatever your hash rate is over an average period of time. So this number will increase over time. Your round contribution, so how much your mining effort actually contributed to the round. So for each block we're attempting to mine, it's classed as a round, and this will show you how much contribution, how much effort you put towards that round. Total paid. Actually, this is the other way around. So you've got pending balance. So this is how much Safex Cash you've actually earned so far. And the reason why it's pending is because quite often, with all the pools, you have a minimum payout. So for my particular pool, it's 2 Safex Cash. So you would need to earn up to 2 Safex Cash to reach that pending balance, and then every 5 minutes it does a payment run. So anyone who's reached their minimum payment balance, you can you will get paid into your wallet. So the total paid is basically how much cash has been paid to that address over time. So if you've been mining over several weeks or months or whatever, you'll see how much cash in total that you've mined. Now, with my particular pool, it's not the most popular one, but it does get a decent amount of hash rate. We've currently got 24 separate miners running on here and 36 separate workers. So the actual workers are individual computers that are running under your wallet. So each individual wallet is classed as a miner, and the individual workers are the individual computers that are running. I do charge a small fee. The fee here goes towards the cost of the server and running Safex News. There are certain pools that are out there that have got a slightly lower fee, and there are some that have got a slightly higher fee. So depending on what kind of fee you're looking at, again, it's quite a small fee anyway in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, so you can pick whatever you want. What else have we got? So the pool hash rate. So this hash rate is how much mining effort is going is being pointed towards this particular pool compared to the network hash rate in total. Sometimes you might see a pool that has a higher hash rate than an actual network hash rate. The reason being is that the pool hash rate actually updates quicker than the network hash rate. The network hash rate is based over quite a wide, I don't know how many blocks it is, but it's based on a wide a wider period of time than the pool is. To actually work out what the network hash rate is, you actually divide the difficulty. So it's the difficulty divided by the target block time, which is 120 seconds. So if you divide the difficulty by the block time, 120, you will get the network hash rate. Let's go through. So pool blocks as well. So these are all the blocks that have been unlocked so far. We've unlocked quite a lot. I think it's over 484. The network difficulty is actually quite high right now, so we're not finding as many blocks. I have a maturity requirement for each block of 60 blocks, so it takes another 60 blocks, so it's about 2 hours until a block is unlocked, and that cache is unlocked and passed on to yourself. Oh, there we go, we just found another block whilst we're recording this video. As you can see there, if you remember when I said that your personal hash rate, it does increase over time. So you can see it's increased there. So it just bases it on an average. So yeah, that's my particular pool. Let's just go to Safex Trade. So if you go tools.safexnews.net and we click mining pools. Now there are actually several pools available to you. You got Lucky Pool, who's currently the highest. X Mining Pro again, they're quite often got quite a few miners. But I just want to highlight these two pools here. These two guys have been very helpful. They've been very helpful to myself personally and to the community. They're both regularly on the Discord channel, the official Safex Discord channel, just helping people how to mine, configuration issues or anything like that. So this is Alexo's pool, and this is what was it? Psycho Stereotypes, Psycho something. Both of them very nice guys, very helpful. They really believe in the community and the crypto scene and what it's all about. So the reason why I've shown you this is the issue that can quite often happen is one pool can get more popular than another, and everyone starts flocking to it. The reality is, it doesn't really matter which pool you go on. Obviously, there's a slight variance on the percentage. The amount of effort that you put in, you will get back out regardless of the pool anyway, because it's based on your personal hash rate that's been thrown at it. Obviously, if there's a pool that's finding more blocks than another, it means that they've got more miners, which means that that block reward will need to be shared out between more miners in total. Now, I really recommend, I know I have my own pool, but for the sake of the project, I'm not too precious about people using it if it means everyone's throwing all their hash rate at my pool. Please do consider using one of the smaller pools if needed, because if, for example, Lucky Pool one day they have a server issue, maybe the network goes down, that is a large portion of the Safex hash rate disappeared within seconds. So it's better to spread the mining rate across multiple pools, so that if one pool falls over for whatever reason, it doesn't make a massive impact on the overall network. Because if the hash rate drops all of a sudden, the difficulty will still remain quite high. It takes a few hours for it to catch up. There is a slight bit of lag, so it's to help people stop manipulating the hash rates and playing that kind of stuff, really. So highly recommend you use any of these pools. Have a look at the hash rate balance across all the pools. I will regularly update this, and it will probably look a little bit better than this with a few little graphics and charts and stuff like that. So share your mining power across all the pools, or just pick a pool that's smaller. Obviously, if you want to use Safex News Pool, I'm more than happy for you to do so. But please do take the overall hash rate as into consideration. It doesn't really matter which pool you use anyway, because the fee is very tiny in comparison to what you actually get back anyway. So another thing, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, is the difficulty in the overall network hash rate. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a snapshot of the difficulty and the hash rate of the market every 2 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it's every 2 minutes. So this is over a 48-hour period. So as you can see, the hash rate and the difficulty does go up and down over time, as miners may want to start mining in another coin or whatever. Some of the larger miners do cycle around, so you do have fluctuations in hash rate and in difficulty. If you've got quite a low, if you've only got a certain amount of hours that you can mine, and you've only got a lower end hardware, keep an eye on this and maybe take advantage of when the difficulties are lower rather than when they're higher. Once I've got more data to play with, I will be able to do this. There's some buttons so you can have a look at maybe 48, 72, maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month. So you've got a larger history scale to look at. So you've got a little bit more context of how the difficulty is compared to how the market is as a whole. So I hope you find this video useful. As I said at the beginning, mining isn't overly difficult. If you use the right software and your computer's up to date, it should run straight out of the box. If you're into multiple GPU mining, I'm going to make the assumption that you kind of already know what you're doing. I will do a second video, however. Right behind me is my personal mining rig. I've got 3 AMD RX 570s on there. They've been BIOS modded, they're overclocked, and I'm using the special drivers, special blockchain drivers for them. That's quite a bit of a complex process, but I'll do a video and show you what I went through there and some of the difficulties that I had. In getting to a good place. Each of the GPUs that I've got there are doing around about 800 to 850 hashes per second, which is reasonably good for an RX 570. I have seen some go up to 1,000 hashes a second, but they get a little they start to lose their stability a little bit when the higher the clock speeds and everything. So again, I've probably rambled on again. Like always, I'll try to keep these videos as short as possible, but they end up being about half an hour long or so. So let me know what you think. As I said, if you need the videos for the wallets, I'll leave a link in the description. If you're mining on an Ubuntu computer, Crypto Joey's done a good little video there explaining how to configure, I believe it's XMR miners, XMR stack, sorry, for the Ubuntu build, and he'll go through the process there. It's very similar, but I think you just need to use the command line a little bit more on that. It's not as straightforward as just double clicking. So if you're on the bod too, please check out his video. It's quite useful. And yeah, so there we go. So enjoy the video. If you have any questions at all, just leave a message. And if you've got any requests for any other mining softwares, there are 2 other softwares that we can use as well. There's XMRig, and they actually have 3 different variations of XMRig. So you've got XMRig CPU, XMRig AMD, and XMRig Nvidia. They require a little bit more fine-tuning. But yeah, so there we go. So enjoy the video and let me know what you think.